Clic, mao. Ça tue, ça blesse, ça flingue. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Mao. Gazo. Clic, mao.
It's curious to me though. It seems odd. You're just from an outsider, not in the law enforcement community. I would think you'd hire pilots and teach them the law enforcement as opposed to the other way around. What I, all the law enforcement agencies I've seen or talked to, they do it that way. You could be 20 years as a beat cop and then move in.
Yeah, I feel like, and I'll put my 2 cents in, but Jack, you've got more experience than myself. But, from my opinion, the police, the law enforcement mission, is such a dynamic mission. You have to have two engaged people at all times that know how to work the incident. So while the TFO might be doing something on a radio, sitting in a perimeter doing something else, the pilot who's sitting there, also, while he might be flying, he can assist in doing other things that if you weren't a police officer, it couldn't otherwise have been done. And you can learn that. It's possible as a civilian to learn how to do that, but I think you're more effective and efficient as a police officer doing that.
I mean, it's just the math. It's how long is police academy? 9 months or a year? So
ours is
6
months.
6 to 9.
6 to 9 for that to train someone to be a police officer. Yet it's 2.5 years to make somebody a competent, capable pilot.
Well, we could go into the police officer training, and you guys chime in too for that new officer. So once they get out of the academy, it's kind of like college for engineers. You get out of college and you think you can go do whatever, and it's not until you actually get into it. So there's another training phase for the TFOs. They have a year typically where they're on probation, and then there's a TFO or FTO, field training officer. I always get those mixed up when I fly. But a field training officer program that they go through, and then they have to get the experience on the street. But to your point, John, I couldn't have said it better, because you think about just a pursuit. Pursuits don't just stay in one jurisdiction; they go everywhere. So how many times as a pilot, your TFO's got their hands full just keeping an eye on the target, but as a pilot, you're over there flipping radios. You're talking to other jurisdictions, saying, "Hey, we're coming to you. This is where we are, and this is what's going on." And
it's interesting. It's not. It just wasn't intuitive to me that that's the way you do it. But I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand the whole rationale behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely makes the crew much more effective when you have two police officers up there. Again, yes, you can train a civilian pilot to fly, a helicopter, a police helicopter, but effectively, when you've got two guys up there, there's been multiple times as a pilot where my TFO partner is working the call. We're looking for a bad guy, and I happen to look over to my left, and there he is. And I'm like, oh, and because I'm thinking, like, I'm using that experience that I had both as a street cop and as a tactical flight officer of, okay, sometimes I found a guy, he's going to go this direction or whatever. It's just intuitive. And so I'd be like, hey, partner, I got your guy over here. And then, we shift. And so having that two pilot or two officer crew is very effective. And a lot of times there's people that are civilian, pilots that have no desire to be a police officer. They don't want anything, any part of it.